Hi guys, I hope you can hear me well.
Hello.
Yes,
Is all the 10 guys and girls are here?
Yes.
Yes, cool. Okay, we'll start the session now. Namaste and very good afternoon to all of you. We welcome you all for the second session of Explore Sri Lanka online session series organized by the Rotaract Club of Alumni of University of Moratul. I hope everyone is doing very well and waiting eagerly for today's session. So the topic for today's session is a glimpse of Sri Lankan heritage. Without much talking, we will go to the introductory video of the day. But before that, there's a short note for all of you. So we have included thing for our session. We have included the symbol of Sri Lanka in different places of the introductory video. You guys have to count how many times you see the symbol in the video, and we will ask your answer after the end of this video, and it will count towards your final marks, which you will score with the Kahoot marks. And you might remember that Kahoot question carried 1000 marks each, and the mark allocation for the correct answer of this thing, the counting of this symbol, is 5000 marks, and the deviations from the correct answer will get a lower mark than that. And okay, that's it. And here you go with the introductory video for the today's session. Okay, guys. Now it's your chance to private message me, who's the host, with the Zoom chat. What is the count that you think you saw this symbol during the video? You can answer one answer for the team, like Team Fiva with one answer and Team Begnas with one answer. Use the chat option in the taskbar below in the Zoom taskbar, and you can send me a private chat. We will reveal the correct answer at the end of the today's session. And now you can send me the correct answer. Team Begdas, I'm asking how many times you saw this symbol in the introductory video. Like it should be a count. like 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Okay, Team Fevas gave me one answer, and Team Begnas. Okay, cool. Both the teams gave answers. Okay, guys. Now, before handling to the main session of today, we will go to the Kahoot. It's today's Kahoot time now. I hope you guys are very well prepared for this, but I will run you through the basic slides, giving the instructions again in case if you have forgotten. So first you have to go to this Kahoot website, and then you have to enter the game pin, which I will be displaying on the screen. And next you have to enter the team name. And next you have to enter the members of your team, 5 members each. And now after that you are ready for the Kahoot, and you will see the questions like this in the Zoom screen. And you have to pick the correct answer with the correct symbol out of the 4. And you have to answer within 30 seconds for each question. And these are the rules for the Kahoot. Discuss the answer only within your group, and don't get help from any other person outside the group, and be honest and do not surf internet. So that's it. Now let me share my screen for you guys. I hope all of you can see my screen. Is it? Yes, right? Team Fivas and Team Begnas, you can see my screen, right? You are on mute, guys. You have to go to this website, www.kahoot.it, and then you have to enter this game pin. Okay, you guys are really cool. We have Team Begnas, but only 2 names are entered. Okay, it's okay. Okay, you can come back again. Team Fiva is here. And waiting for Team Begnas. Okay, what's this team? Team Fanny with 3 names. Me, and me. Okay, anyway, I'll think that name is Team Begnas. Shall I?
Wait a minute.
Okay, just close the tab and go again from the beginning to www.kahoot.it, and then add the game pin. Okay. Okay, now we have 3 teams. I don't know who's Team Fanny. Anyway, I think it's a mistake from Team Begnas. Okay. Now we have both the teams on board. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, now we'll start the session, right?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, it's loading. Question number one. Which is not a town in Sri Lanka? You have 30 seconds.
Kirana kami kini kirakan India banyak orang wisuruh kalau berkamu silakan orang itu kau ikut ayo
Okay, we have one correct answer and one false answer. Okay, we'll go to the next question. What does the orange color represent in Sri Lankan flag? I hope you can see the answers and the question clearly. Okay, we have two correct answers. Okay, we'll go to the next question. What does the lion represent in Sri Lankan flag? One answer, two answers. Okay, great. We'll move on to the next question. Team Bigness has a streak with 3 correct answers in a row. Okay. The fourth question. Basketball is the national sport of Sri Lanka. True or false? Okay. Both answers are correct. Fifth question. What is the national flower of Sri Lanka? Okay. All the people have answered correctly. Now is the sixth question. What is the national tree of Sri Lanka? Okay, we'll go on to the next question. What is the national bird of Sri Lanka? You guys are so cool, right? Two answers. Okay, now the eighth question. How many main races are there in Sri Lanka? Okay, now the next question, the ninth question. What is the main religion in Sri Lanka? Cool. Now the 10th question, which is not an architectural creation in Sri Lanka. Which is not an architectural creation in Sri Lanka. Cool. Now the 11th question, where can we find frescoes in Sri Lanka? Great. Oh, but only one has answered the correct answer. Okay, now it's the 12th question, which is not a Buddhist festival. Okay, now we'll move to the 13th question. Sinhala and Tamil New Year is in Sri Lanka is celebrated in the month of. Okay, this is a bit of a tricky one. This was not there in your slide, the month. We'll see how is your guessing ability. Wow. Okay, one correct answer. 14th question. Deepavali is a festival celebrated by Hindus. True or false? Great. Now the final question for the day. Bali and Tovil are a set of festival dances in Sri Lanka. True or false? Okay, guys. This is the podium for today. And guys, we will the marks for your final marks, where we will select the winner of this session series. So Team Begnas is leading today. All these questions were based on the previous session, and the next Kahoot on the next day will be based on the today's session. Okay, now Rahul can share back the screen, I guess. Okay, guys. Now it's the time for today's main session. So the session topic is a glimpse of Sri Lankan heritage. And let me invite Miss Shenali Valikala, who will be conducting this session from now onwards. Shenali Aki, you can continue from here.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kavindu, for the nice intro. Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me? Okay.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, namaste.
Namaste.
Right. So I will be doing the session for today. It's about Sri Lankan heritage. So let me share the screen first and let me know if you can see it clearly. Okay. You all can see my screen, right?
Yes.
All right. Okay. So what is heritage? Can anyone tell me from Team FIVA? what is heritage? What do you think is heritage? Anyone? Even from Begnas or Fanny? Does anyone know what heritage is? The word heritage.
Historical monuments.
Yes. So normally in a country, what we call heritage, correct. The answer is correct. So the word heritage means what these people or what a country had done in the past, and what are the things that they have done special in the past, and how a particular country or business or a company has come to its current status from the past. So that is the word heritage. So today I will be telling you how Sri Lanka as a country evaluated for until today, and its history, the art, and what Sri Lanka is famous for, and information like that. Okay. So one day when you come to Sri Lanka, if you get the chance to come to Sri Lanka, you will be able to know and visit places that are more of historical importance. All right. So today I will be covering first about the Sri Lankan kingdoms. So can someone tell me what are the kingdoms that were there in Nepal? Someone knows, can share with us.
Rana Kingdom,
Mhm.
Kirat Kingdom, Saha Kingdom.
Anyone from Begnas?
Litsevi Kingdom.
Lichavi, yes, very famous kingdom. So when we visited from Sri Lanka to Nepal 2 years back, we also went and saw some of your beautiful old historical buildings. So we went to Bakatpur. So in there we saw a lot of old architectural monuments as well, from old kings in Nepal. So Sri Lanka also, we had a couple of kingdoms where kings ruled, or sometimes most of the invaders from India and also from Portugal, Dutch, and also the Britishers came into Sri Lanka, and they took hold of Sri Lanka and they ruled in Sri Lanka. So that is, and I will be covering those kingdoms as well today in my first session. And secondly, I would be telling you about what Sri Lanka is famous for, and what are the things that you can find in Sri Lanka or have in Sri Lanka, taste in Sri Lanka if you ever visit Sri Lanka. Okay. And also, what are the industries in Sri Lanka? So what kind of things we develop over here in Sri Lanka? We will be covering them as well. And then we'll be going for the dance and music section, where I will tell you the different forms of dance and music that Sri Lanka has. And also, we'll be at the end doing the performance session that you guys are waiting to do, I know, the singing and all. So we'll be doing that as well. Okay, so now I'll move on to the first topic. All right. So the ancient kingdoms of Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka had several types of different ancient kingdoms. So there were 9 in total, where Sri Lanka was ruled under 9 kingdoms, 9 major kingdoms. So the first kingdom of those 9 kingdoms are the Indo-Aryan settlements. So what do you mean? In the name itself, it says that from India, these Aryans came. So that is why they show as Indo-Aryans. So what happened was, in India, there was a king called Singhabahu. So Singhabahu, the name Singhabahu means the slayer of the lion. So So the slayer of the lion, why was he called that name? Was because he killed his father, who is, according to the law, is a lion. So the son killed the father and became the lion slayer known as Singhabahu. So that Singhabahu king had a son whose name was Vijay. So this Vijay was a very naughty king, I would say, king's son, I'd say. So they say that he was very adamant and he was very bad and he did bad things. So Singhabahu was not happy with him and he banished all his friends. He had 700 friends and followers. So along with Vijaya, the Prince Vijaya, his 700 followers were put into a big ship and they were sent out from their country, from India. So what happened was Prince Vijay got into this ship and they sailed for days and then landed over here in Sri Lanka at this red spot that I have shown in the Sri Lankan map. So they landed here in Thambapani, they say, in the old days. So Thambapani means golden sand, bronze sands. So the sand near this area in the beach is bronze colored. So that is why they called Thambapani in Sinhala. So this Prince Vijaya and his followers came and landed here. So what happened when he landed was he saw a beautiful princess, a Sri Lankan princess. So that princess is this picture. So her name was Kuveni. So they saw this beautiful princess who was making thread. She was making thread out of cotton. So this is her cotton wheel, like Cinderella. Can you remember? So like Cinderella, she was weaving cotton in her wheel. So she saw this prince and his followers coming in and they asked her, okay, we want to settle here in Sri Lanka. Can you help us settle? And she said yes. And what happened was, from that day onwards, the Prince Vijaya and his followers settled over here in Sri Lanka. And the current Sri Lankan people are the people that came from Prince Vijaya. So we are the ancestors of Prince Vijaya. So they say, since Prince Vijaya's grandfather was the lion who got killed, he's in Sinhala, we called the lion Singhaya. So that is why Sinhalese and Sri Lanka came into place. So the people in Sri Lanka are called Sinhalese, and the name came because from the word Singhaya, and we call us the lions. And that is why in the flag also you can see the lion symbol. So that is the history. Okay, everyone got it?
Yes.
All right. So today there will be a lot of stories, actually, a lot of beautiful stories about Sri Lanka. So what happened was, from that day onwards, these people lived in Sri Lanka, started living in Sri Lanka. But earlier days, actually, then you might be wondering, okay, before Prince Vijaya came to Sri Lanka, who was living in Sri Lanka? Okay, there were 4 types of people living in Sri Lanka. The first type was the worshippers of the Rakshas, the demons. They were called Raksha. They were worshippers of demons, Raksha. And some of them called Yaksha. It's also worshippers of devils. And then the third type was worshippers of snakes, nagas, cobras per se. And then the fourth type of the worshippers of gods, the worshippers of devas. So there were 4 types of people living back then. So do you know who Ravana is? King Ravana, where you,
Yes.
okay. So you have a special day also in Nepal where you celebrate the defeating of Ravana, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a picture of Ravana, who has said to have a lot of heads. So this Ravana, as you know, is a Sri Lankan king. So this King Ravana was very smart, but you all say that he is not good. So there are a lot of interpretations, but this King Ravana was under this Yaka, the worshippers of Yaksha, the demons clan. So see, he was in the second type. of these old people who lived in Sri Lanka. So these people that you see at the bottom, the people who are wearing these trees and all the branches, so these people are called Vedas. So Vedas are the indigenous people of Sri Lanka. They used to live, so they say, in the history says that the son and the daughter of Kuveni, the princess, was the beginners of this Veda clan in Sri Lanka. So still these people are there in the forest and they are called the Vedas. Many foreigners who come to Sri Lanka goes to visit the Vedas, and they are very friendly and they sing songs. So these Vedas do hunt and do hunting, and they live in the forest. So these are these people, okay? So this is the story of the first kingdom in Sri Lanka. And then if you move on, you can see the city of Anuradhapura, the kingdom of Anuradhapura. So Anuradhapura kingdom is situated near Thambapani. But these people who were living in Thambapani thought, okay, this is so close to the beach. We don't want to stay here because some other people can come too. And there are no water in the beach. So I'm going to go to the middle of the country and then find water. So what they did was they traveled to the middle of the city, which is called Anuradhapura. So in Anuradhapura, what happened was there were a lot of rivers and the rain was very good. So rivers were there. And what they did was they created a bunk, a tank bund, and then in the tank, near the tank bund, they made their houses and settled. So this is the tank or the river near the waterway, and then they put this wall, and then they had their settlements. And also they wanted food, right? So everyone wants food now. So therefore they created paddy fields, and they planted crops to feed their families. So that is how people went from Indo-Aryan settlements near the beaches to Anuradhapura in the middle of this country. So during Anuradhapura, something special happened. So what happened was Buddhism was introduced to Sri Lanka during this era. So what happened was in India, those time, there was this King Ashoka. Have you heard of King Ashoka?
Yes.
Okay, so there were a lot of Hindi films also with regards to King Ashoka. So what happened was King Ashoka was a friend of Sri Lanka, and he sent his only son, who was a Thero, a Buddhist monk. His name was Mahinda Thero. So his son was sent to Sri Lanka to preach the king of Sri Lanka, Buddhism, and to give Buddhism to Sri Lanka. So you can see in this picture over here, the king, one Poya day, it is a very venerable day, like very valuable day in Sri Lanka, where he was going on a hunt, and he was just about to hunt a deer. And then he saw these Buddhist monks appearing actually, and then they preached Buddhism to this king. And the king was the head of Sri Lanka. Therefore, everybody in Sri Lanka became Buddhist from that day onwards. So that is the story of Buddhism. And then some years later, Lord Buddha died. And then, do you know that when Lord Buddha died, there were parts of him, his teeth, his hair, those things were separated. So those things were sent all around the world and in India, and is venerated as blessed sacraments or in all those countries. So this tooth of Lord Buddha was sent to Sri Lanka. So the picture you see up here is two people, one prince and a princess. Hemamala is the princess, and this is Prince Danta. So what they did was they hid the tooth in Hemamala's hair, and then they have traveled in a ship and arrived in Sri Lanka. Why did they hide this tooth in her hair? Is because this tooth is considered very valuable. And if anybody knew that she was holding Lord Buddha's teeth, they would have been attacked. Therefore, they hid it like this and then traveled to Sri Lanka and gave it to the king. From that day onwards, the tooth relic of Lord Buddha is valued and venerated mostly in Sri Lanka. And then what the picture that you see below is a tree from a branch of the tree, the bo tree or the fig tree that Lord Buddha became enlightened. So you know that Lord Buddha went for meditation in India under a tree. So this tree that you see over here, which is situated in Anuradhapura, is from a branch from that very tree. So still it is there. And someday if you come to Sri Lanka, you will be able to visit this place as well. Okay. So, and in Anuradhapura, since Buddhism was venerated and Buddhism came into place, stupas that you see below were created. And then one special place was there. One among the lot of special places, there was one very important place, which is called Sigiriya. The lion's den is situated. This is a picture of Sigiriya, and the frescoes that you had in the Kahoot session is inside this beautiful Sigiriya rock. This rock is carved as a lion, and there are pictures. If you walk around these bends of this fortress, you will be able to see this. This Sigiriya is suggested as the 8th world's wonder by the UNESCO. So do you know the other 7 wonders of the world, like the pyramids? You have heard it in school, right?
Yes.
Yes. So this is the 8th wonder of the world, Sigiriya. So you will be seeing these beautiful frescoes over there in Sigiriya. So someday if you come to Sri Lanka, you can visit it. And then from Anuradhapura, they thought, okay, this is also too close. So we need protection from outside people. So they went more into the country and they landed over here in Polonnaruwa, the third kingdom of the third kingdom of Sri Lanka after Anuradhapura. So what happened during this era was the Indians invaded. So they came into Sri Lanka and they wanted to. Then they saw how good Sri Lanka is and how good the plantation, how good the ocean, how good the water systems in Sri Lanka is. Therefore, they wanted to stay here. So the people in Sri Lanka, no, they didn't want them. So they fought with them to send them away, but they came in. So what happened was they came and landed over here in Sri Lanka, and they destroyed all the Buddhist statues, all the Buddhist stupas that there were in Sri Lanka. But the kings fought back and they got hold of Sri Lanka again, and they built these beautiful Buddhist structures in Sri Lanka. So this first picture that you see is called the Gal Viharaya. So the gal in the sense means stones. So all this Buddha statue that you can see is very long, and it is like 1,000 times bigger than a human. And then if you stand over here, you will be like an ant. So it's that big, and it's carved in a stone. So one day if you come, you can visit this place as well. And this is Vatadage, the round house. So you can see in this picture that. And then, as I told, the Indians came in. So therefore, the Hinduism came into place. So what you can see over here is the Shiv temple. And then what you can see over here is the moonstones in Sri Lanka. So in every building, so like this Vatadage was a building, right? So when you come down the building, you will be having something like this. It's called a moonstone in the shape of a half moon. You can see carvings in it. So those were built at the start of every building. And also you will in Polonnaruwa, you will be able to see a reservoir, a very big one, which holds water for the entire kingdom. And it is so big that it is called a sea because it also produces waves like a sea. It's not a river, it's not a reservoir. It doesn't, even though it's a reservoir, it doesn't seem like a reservoir. It shows like a big sea. So that is why with the waves and all you can see. So that is all about the third kingdom of Sri Lanka, Polonnaruwa. So next we come into Dambadeniya. So now the people thought, okay, Polonnaruwa is there, but we need to establish another kingdom. So let's go, let's travel Sri Lanka. And they went down. And then they came in to Dambadeniya. So in Dambadeniya, what happened was they got the Lord Buddha's tooth relic, and then they traveled. So the king also traveled to Dambadeniya. In Dambadeniya, something special happened. It was that there was a very genius king over there at that time. So he was very his name was King Parakramabahu III. Parakramabahu III. So what he did was he wrote a lot of poems, and he was very ingenious. So everybody thought, and still up to date, he was one of the wisest kings in Sri Lanka. And also he produced one of the beautifulest and the greatest literature ever to be made in Sri Lanka, the Kavi Silumina. So that is also don't need to remember the names, but a very genius king was there in this kingdom. So if we move on, however, this Dambadeniya had a problem. This Dambadeniya, even though there is a rock, it's not very protected from the outsiders. So what they did was they thought, okay, it's not safe here in Dambadeniya. We need to go to a safer place with rocks. So they ended up here in Yapahuwa. So in Yapahuwa, you will be able to see this huge structure. So in Bakatpur also there are very similar architectures, right? So this is one example in Sri Lanka where you can see these beautiful structures. All right. If there are any questions, let me know, guys. I can see that messages are coming, but I can't share it while I'm on this. Let me know if I need to attend to any questions. Okay. So after Yapahuwa, here, what you can see in this fortress, then they went to Kurunagala. So Kurunagala, the name, you can see Kurunagala. So the last four words refer to Gala. Gala means stone in Sinhala. So what is special about this specific kingdom is that it is built on a rock. Gala means rock. So there are 6 rocks covering, and the city is situated on top of a rock. So there are 6 rocks with the names of animals where this kingdom is situated. So the first one is Atagala, which means elephant rock. And then the second one is Ibagala, tortoise rock. It's shape of a tortoise. And then we have Andigala, the eel rock. It's shape of a eel. And Elugala, shape of a goat. And then Beetle rock, shape of a beetle. And also Banduragala, shape of a monkey. So this, however, if you go to visit Kurunagala someday, it's very hot over there. It's because in the afternoons, it's because the sun shines on the rock and it warms the rock, and everyone and the whole city feels hot because of the rock being hot. So that is a very geographical importance in Kurunagala. So it's a hot place to go if you are visiting from Nepal when it is cold there. So that is Kurunagala. And these are some pictures of the old Kurunagala kingdom, the fortress that they made there. Okay. And then we'll go to the Gampola kingdom. So what happened was this Kurunagala, they said, okay, we need to go and build a another good place. Then they traveled and then they went to Gampola. So in Gampola, what is special is that there is a special place called Ambake Temple. In this Ambake Temple, you will be able to see these beautiful wood carvings. The two carvings that you see is called from the Ambake Temple. So, and this person that you can see over here is Ibn Battuta. He was a Muslim Hindu Islam person who came from Arab to Sri Lanka back then, and he made a map of Sri Lanka, Ceylon back then. Okay, now we'll go to Kotte, the golden era of Sri Lanka. So in Kotte, what happened was, now again they went close to the sea. You can see from the map, they went close to the sea again. So in this Kotte, it was the golden era. It's because there were a lot of poems written in Sri Lanka back then, Ceylon back then. So normally what they did was, this person who is writing this letter or the poem, he will send it attaching that poem in a leg of a bird, and they will be calling that bird, the message or the poem, by the name of that bird. It's called Gira Sandeshya, the parrot's poem, Paravi Sandeshya, the pigeon's poem, like that. They will be sending, the traveler of that message would be the bird. So there were a lot of beautiful poems written in that era. And also there was this Thero, a Buddhist monk who was very proficient in poems, arts, and he was very venerable, like he's very venerated until today. So there are a lot of Buddhist schools by his name as well. And then something special happened during this Kotte region. It's because the Portuguese, do you know the Portuguese from Portugal? Have you heard of Portugal? Okay, so this Portuguese, they are the first invaders, the foreign invaders that came apart from the Indians. So they came and they saw how beautiful Sri Lanka was, and they saw the cinnamon which Sri Lanka had, how valuable they are. And they thought, okay, we are not going to just visit, we are going to get Sri Lanka and we are going to settle in it, because Sri Lanka is the best place for sales, because they can sell the crops in Sri Lanka, the cinnamon. So they came in, they fought with Sri Lankans, and then they destroyed most of the beautiful Buddhist monuments in Sri Lanka. That was very sad. But this picture that you see at the bottom is how they destroyed it. So and this picture at the very end is a picture of a building that they made, the Gaul Fort in the down south of Sri Lanka. So this is that you can see that Kotte being there in the near the sea, what happened was they were open to outside, and then they can come into the kingdom and then own it. So that was a disadvantage for them back then. So when there's a special story around this as well. So what happened when this white people, the white skinned people came to Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankans were very scared. The Sri Lankans, the skin is copper, right? You guys are fair in Nepal, right? But look at us and just look at me. So I'm very dark. So these dark colored people saw these white foreigners and they said, oh my God, so these people are coming in, and they went and told the king, there are some weird people who came from the sea. They are eating rocks and they are drinking blood. They said rocks to bread, and then wine, they call the blood wine. So they came and told the king that there are some weird people who are eating rocks and drinking blood. So that is a story around this Portuguese. And then comes the last kingdom in Sri Lanka. So the last kingdom in Sri Lanka is the Kandian kingdom. So kingdom of Kandy is situated in the middle of Sri Lanka, covered by a lot of mountains. Even though Kandy has been there for a long, long time, nobody, no invaders could come into Kandy because it was so secure, covered with rocks. This, if you ever visit Kandy, Kandy is very different. The atmosphere is very cold, like in the winter season. But there is no snow, but it's very cold all the time in Sri Lanka, all the time in the year. So this king that you see over here is called Sri Vikramaraj Singha, which is the last king of Sri Lanka. And this is his wife, Rangamma. And this is his throne, his crown, his sword, and his stick. So it's made of gold. So this is his place. And this is his palace. And also the home where the tooth relic of Lord Buddha, which was brought back in Anuradhapura, you can remember. So now it's situated here in this palace. So these elephants and all, on top of the elephant, you can see this temple of, so this tooth relic is situated. So every year we have a big procession where the tooth relic is traveled around Kandy. So people can, so the magic of that venerable tooth can bring rain to the country of Lord, the tooth of Lord Buddha. So during this era, two invaders came into Sri Lanka. The first one was the Dutch, and the second one was the British. The Dutch, they tried to come into Kandy, but they couldn't. It didn't work out. But the British, they did. And this picture that you see here is the agreement that was held between the Sri Lankan people and the British to get hold of Sri Lanka. So only then Sri Lanka was colonized by the Britishers in 1850, and until 1948, Sri Lanka was under the Britishers. So it was ruled under the Queen of England until 1948, until we fought back to get our country back to us. Okay, so that is basically the story and the old kingdoms of Sri Lanka. So was it good? Did you guys understand the stories of each kingdom?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It's not boring, right?
No.
All right. Nice to hear. So now that the kingdoms are done, I will quickly show you some of the beautiful places that you have in Sri Lanka. It's a quick video. You can see the screen, right?
Yes. Yes.
All right.
Let's begin our journey from the first ever kingdom of Sri Lanka, Anuradhapura. The ruins of Anuradhapura communicate to the entire world the unparalleled grandeur of a city which was once the center of Buddhist education and civilization. Even at present, in the vicinity of Abhayagiri Stupa, the vestiges are visible which have been used by the 5,000 bhikkhus. The mammoth size of these platters further establishes this fact. The gigantic elephant pond, which is the size of 5 Olympic standing pools, elaborates the wondrous nature of civilization. The largest stupa found here in Sri Lanka, the Jetavana is considered the tallest brick-made structure in the world. The next kingdom of Sri Lanka, Purunarva, further boosts and carried forward the identical greatness prevailed earlier. The human-built tanks of Purunarva simply come to terms with the gaze of some of the great oceans of the world. These symbolize the fact that the Sri Lankan civil society was purely based on the agrarian sector. The ingenuity of engineering knowledge, skill and craftsmanship of Sri Lankan ancient artists have produced wonders which have mesmerized the entire globe.
This is Sigiriya that you can see. And this is Kandy,
Last kingdom of Sri Lanka.
the last kingdom.
Kandy is a living World Heritage Site.
Okay.
The Temple of Tooth Relic of Kandy is considered one of the most venerated sites for Buddhists the world over.
This is inside of the Kandy tooth relic.
The greatness of a nation always surfaces many challenges, and as a result, Sri Lanka was also subjected.
Okay. I that'd be enough because the other places I showed you all. And now I'll quickly move on to the second topic, which is specialities of Sri Lanka. So what is Sri Lanka famous for? Sri Lanka is situated in this location in the middle of the Indian Ocean, which is open to all the sales paths around the world. So it's very famous among the travelers and the sellers, traders. So Sri Lanka is famous for the Ceylon tea. Have you ever had tea? So have you ever had Sri Lankan tea? Then
No.
okay, so you should try Sri Lankan tea because it's very tasty and it's very different from the tea that you find in other countries. So we also export lot of tea for all over the world. And then you can see coconut. Coconut is very famous in Sri Lanka because we have the show, the beaches around the country, because Sri Lanka is an island. And from coconut, we can make oil, we can make very delicious food. And also there is this special kind of coconut, which is sweet. So the sweet type of coconut is called king coconut, the orange color one that you see here. And Sri Lanka is also very famous for rubber. So this is the rubber tree, and you can collect rubber to make tires and other things that you can make from rubber, the rubber plant. And this is cinnamon. The cinnamon is very special. They say that all the Sri Lanka attracted in like the invaders because of its location, but they were kept there in Sri Lanka because of the spices that Sri Lanka had. And one such valuable spice is called cinnamon, and that which you can find in Sri Lanka. And also the industries in Sri Lanka. One of the main industries in Sri Lanka is tea, and then you have farming, and then you have the IT sector popping up, and this is the supercar in South Asia, which is built in Sri Lanka as well. And then you have the textile industry where garments are made, and then you have the tourism industry because of the beautiful beaches and also the places that you can visit. And also about dancing and music, Sri Lanka, being a country which is an island, has three types of main categorizations of dance and music. The upcountry or the Kandian people do this kind of dancing, which is called the Kandian dancing, and they use several types of drums to do that. And also we have the low country dancing. The people in the south, the bottom of Sri Lanka, they do dancing like this, and they have their own types of drums. And then you have the Sabaragamu, the middle part of Sri Lanka. They have this kind of dancing and their own set of drums. So Sri Lanka is very diverse with lot of different kinds of dance and music. And then apart from that, we also have the Rabana, these kind of drums, and then we also have puppetry here in Sri Lanka, and then we also have fire dancing where people eat fire as well while dancing, and also we have stage drama. So do you guys like stage drama? I heard that you all did dramas recently.
Yes, we like it.
All right. So what are the dramas that you have done?
BFG, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda.
Oh, Matilda as well. It's nice. So this is one type of drama. This is a lion. You can see, I told you the story of the lion slayer. So this is their story that they have done. If there is time, I will sing one of the songs for you from this drama, so you can enjoy. But we will do that in the performance section if you want. So this is also a type of drama that you can see with the costumes and all done in a stage. And okay, so now it's all about my session, and now it's time for the performance. I think that you guys are prepared to do a traditional song for us, right? So it's time for you to do now. First, who will go first? Team Fever or Begnas?
Begnas.
All right. So the stage is over to Begnas to do the performance. Okay. We'll stop sharing so you can do the performance. First, tell me the song that you are going to sing, and then you can start.
We are going to sing Furutte Sari. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, go. Full butte sari, sopa sopari, pacheuri mal mal. One, two, three, go. Full butte sari, sopa pari, pacheuri mal mal ko. Kausima basi, timile herda, mamero aljalko. Kansiko kesa, pizari echa, maikuri bati. Beauty, resami tulto, olai kunto, maya kuranga, awari you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, so we'll go to the other team, Fiva.
We are going to sing the song Tin Pati. One, two, three, go. देखेर तिमीलाई हेरेर तिमीलाई भेटेर तिमीलाई सम्झेर तिमीलाई मनै मनमा माया दिन पाते भइदियो मनै मनमा माया पाते भइदियो. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So thank you guys. That was my session. Hope everybody enjoyed. I will hand back the control to our moderator, Kavindu.
And we will be having one more video to be played to show the dancing strategies of Sri Lanka and the use of those drums. And Rahal will play the video.
The drums that are there are three types of drums here from the three parts of Sri Lanka. The sound is different. Okay, so that is all
Oh,
for the session and the video. Hope you all enjoyed it.
okay. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for that amazing session, Senali Didi. And now it's time to end the today's session. And I have to say that both the teams did an sorry for that. And I have to say that both the teams did an amazing performance, and your active participation in this session is really great. And we will allocate marks for your performance as well. And before wrapping up for today, we will reveal the count of Sri Lankan symbol that was seen in the introductory video. Both the teams answered it was two, but unfortunately there were five. Anyway, both the teams will receive equal marks. And that's it for today. And the next Kahoot will be based on today's session. And we will share the recording of the today's session as well with Ms. Susmita. And you can refer to that session before joining for the next session on 5th February. And we will also try to circulate a feedback form with you guys. And before wrapping up for today, I would like to thank Rotaract Stephanie from Mexico, who joined with us for this session as well. You might have seen the messages going in the chat welcoming her. And also, I would like to thank both the teams and the other participants who joined today. And now it's almost 7, and I know you guys are dreaming about the dinner, and you may be blaming me for keeping you here. And since we are since we are running out of time, we will wrap up for today. And thank you all for joining with us. Dhanyavad and Shubharatri.
Excuse me.
Yes.
We will want Miss Senali to sing song.
Oh, okay. Shenali Akka, it's your chance.
Yeah, come.
Okay, aren't you all hungry? Uh,
No.
okay. All right. I will sing you all a song from that the stage drama I showed you. It's called Singha Bahu, about the lion who got killed. So this lion was there, and then his wife and his sons didn't like him, and they went. So this lion is very sad, and now he's singing this song. So I'll sing you that song just to see. Okay. I'm not a good singer, so it will be very bad. Bear with me. Okay.
Okay.
කල්ලෙන බිඳලා ලින්දොර ඇරලා සිංහබා 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 මා සුඳුර සිංහ සීවලී මා ප්‍රිය දියණිය කල්ලෙන බිඳලා ලින්දොර ඇරලා සිංහබා 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 කොසින් සැමදෙන නැතේ කිසිවක් මම දැනගතිමි මම සැක කළෙමි සිංහබා 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 කල තුල නොවෙති පෙරලා නොවෙති මම දැකගතිමි මම සැක කළෙමි සුරතල් දියණිය මොල කැටි වදනින් මාසන සන්නිය ආහාර පිසන්නිය සිංහබා 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 Thank you.
That was amazing, Shenaliaki. Guys, I forgot one thing. Shall we take a photograph today as well with everybody turning the cameras on? And I want to see all the 5 participants. Last time I forgot there were few missing in Fivas or Begnas. Let me see. Begnas, I see only 3. Fiva, okay, I see 5 people from Fiva and Begnas. Begnas, okay. Okay, now we see all the 5. Okay, smile, guys. Okay, great, done. And aren't you guys hungry, right? Like it's past 7. Yes, right? Okay. Anyway, okay.
Yes, we are hungry.
Okay. Since we are running out of the time, we will finish the session for today now. So we'll meet you on 5th of February. So we are going to end the session for today now. Thank you for joining. Dhanyavad and Subharatri.